went through a very, very difficult primary and eventually got declared a parliamentary candidate. And when the dust settled on December 7, December 8, Edem Agbana was elected Member of Parliament for Ketu North. He's my guest on Point Blank. You're welcome to Point Blank, sir.
Sandra, thank you so much.
How are you doing?
By God's grace, I'm doing well, and let me say good evening to our cherished listeners across the country, especially to the good people of Ketu North.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you, Sandra Akbe.
When did you see this coming? At what point did you think you would be an MP? And I don't know, did you ever think you were going to be an MP this early? At what point did you start thinking about that? Well,
Sandra, I think that God has his own ways of doing things, but in 2021, when I was preparing to exit office as the Deputy National Youth Organizer, there were a number of options on the table. And I mean, because we are done with elections, I can freely talk about some of them. Yeah. I considered running for the National Youth Organizer position. I considered running for Deputy General Secretary of the party. Mm-hmm. I also considered running for the Deputy Communication Officer of the party. So there were a number of options on the table. Then I was also considering going to Parliament to represent my people. But even that, when I wanted to go into Parliament, there were about 4 constituencies on the table, and all 4 constituencies I am qualified to contest. And so I weighed the options, I prayed about it, and there's an aspect of my political career that you can't take away from me. And I had a number of pastors who joined me. We prayed about all the options, and God gave his directions. And let me use this platform to thank Pastor Vincent for, I recall, we prayed about all the options, and it was not just about which position was winnable. It was also about where I believe I could make the most impact. And so we chose Ketu North, and I entered the contest, went through a very difficult primaries that nobody gave me a dog stance. Everybody thought that
small boy Agbana.
Yeah, this small boy, you have no resources, you are not as rich as your opponents, and all of that. It was a very difficult contest, really, I must admit. But by God's grace and the dint of hard work, and young people in Ketu North owned the campaign. They personalized my campaign as theirs. They supported deeply from their hearts, and we managed to sail through the primaries with just 1 vote difference, victory.
After a lot of fight
and everything. And so we went through the general elections. It was also a very difficult elections because as a young person coming up, Ketu North is a very big constituency, let me put it that way, and it's a historic constituency. It's a constituency that is very politically conscious. For both NDC and MPP, we've produced some of the greatest politicians this country has ever seen. On the side of the NDC, the likes of Professor Awuno, Kofi Awuno, Professor Kofi Awuno, the late His Excellency Modestus Ahiamble is from Ketu North. Our current Member of Parliament, Honorable Dr. James Kluche Aveji is from. I mean, so we have many political bigwigs from the constituency, even at the regional level. The likes of Henry Ametepe, former regional chairman. In fact, the current voter regional chairman of the NDC is also from Ketu North, Mauto Agbavito, and many others. Professor Gachi. All these people are from the constituency. So you can imagine what it is like to be the candidate or be the Member of Parliament eventually for that constituency. The NPP also, the likes of Pius Enam Hajide is from Ketu North.
Pius from your there?
Yes, he actually contested the parliamentary seat in 2012 and lost to Honorable Dr. Aveji before the switch to Esojaman. And so he has been a candidate in my constituency before. The likes of Kofi Jameshi,
former regional minister.
Yes, former regional minister, former chieftaincy minister, now the CEO of the Bui Power Authority. Such a big name in the politics of.
Served in Kufuor's government.
Ken would know Osu and Co of the MPP. Yeah, all of them are from Ketu North, and so Ketu North is a very politically conscious constituency.
I see.
And it's such a privilege to represent them in Parliament.
You keep hammering on your youthfulness. I mean, I think the first Parliament was, I don't know whether it was the 2020 Parliament or the 2016 Parliament. Eko Vincent Sefo was the youngest. Are you going to be the youngest MP elect? Do you know?
Well, I'm yet to check the actual age of some of my colleagues, but for now, I'm 33 years of age. And
33?
Yeah, 33.
You're a small boy.
For now.
Yeah, you're the only MP I'm older than that. Okay, I was older than Esafat. No,
yeah, so I'm 33. Maybe after the swearing in and when we have the profiles of all my colleagues, we may be able to check whether I'm the youngest. But
do you have
whatever it is.
Do you have a family?
Yes, I do have a family. I have a wife. I have a 6-year-old son.
Hey.
And yeah, hoping that after the campaign we'll add some more children.
Now that you can rest. Now that you can
no, I'm not resting, Sandra. No, we are not resting at all. We have to get back to the constituency and work. And so for me, work has started. The election was just an event for me. The work continues. Let me put it that way.
Edem, you have not held any private office before, have you? You've just been in the public space. Have you worked for a company before, or have you worked for yourself before?
Yes, many. I was monitoring and evaluation supervisor for Maslock nationally.
Okay, so that's public service. I'm talking about private. Yeah. Have you worked in a private company
before? So yeah, private. I have done a number of things privately, even Radio XYZ. Yes, I used to work with Radio XYZ. I was a presenter like you, and also I was part of management.
You were an ASU presenter.
You can just call it that way. But yeah, I've done that as well. And so today, I have many years of experience as a football administrator. As I speak, I'm still the corporate affairs manager for Young Apostles FC, a Premier League club. Now we are in the Premier League. I've worked with Young Apostles for well over 6 years now. Okay. And again, in addition to that, there is also a private travel and tour company located at East Legon called the Oligarch Africa Travel and Tour. I'm their business development manager. I've done that for the last 5 years, and so I have worked in the private space for a while. Okay. I mean, right after leaving school.
So you have a track record. I asked that because usually they'll say, "Oh, you're a young boy, you have no experience."
Yeah. Usually, so I just wanted to show because people know us for the political activities.
So there are things you do behind the scenes.
There are things that we do and we'll continue.
Is your family a very political family, as in like your parents, your siblings, those kind of things?
No, my family is not a political family at all.
So you're the odd one out.
Yes, I'm the odd one out. My dad was a driver until he left us. What kind of driving? No, he used to drive commercial vehicles from running Joje, Tajebu to Accra and all of that. Then later he got employed with Glory Oil Company Limited, where he was before he passed on in 2017.
Yes. Condolences. Yes. And your mom?
And my mom, petty trader, not a politician.
Selling.
In fact,
where was she?
She's now selling. She was at Baoleshi, and she's a petty trader. She used to work in the Constituency. She's also a seamstress, but she works as a petty trader basically.
Did you grow up in Accra, or you grew up in the village?
I grew up in Ketu North. I grew up in the village, but I came to Accra somewhere in the early 2000 to continue my junior high school education. I attended Baoleshi Presby JSS.
So you are from Ayawaso West?
Yes,
you could have contested Ayawaso West.
Yes, I was actually a branch executive in Ayawaso West, very active here, and everyone thought that should have been
your place.
One of the constituencies to first consider when I was considering running for Parliament, but I chose my home constituency.
When you decided to go into politics full time, what was the view from your parents? Did they like the idea? Did they think it was too dangerous? Don't do it. What was
yes, my mom is a very quiet person. She can't hurt a fly, and she was always scared that this politics, people will insult you, they will say things about you. She's always scared. I mean, even now at this age, sometimes 10:30, 11 p.m. My mom is calling to find out whether I am home, whether I'm safe.
Well,
and all of that.
Are you how do you say last born in ever?
No, I'm her only boy. We are three. Okay. I have two sisters. I'm her only boy, so she cares that much and always want to find out whether I'm safe. But my dad encouraged me.
Domle is the word I was looking for.
I know, not Domle. I'm not Domle.
You're not Domle.
But yes.
You're not fortunate like me. I'm Domle.
You are Domle. I was Domle for 16 years.
And then they did something.
One stubborn Erica girl came
to spoil the chance for you.
Yes, to spoil my chance. But my dad encouraged me when unfortunately he saw very little of me in national politics. He left me, I think, 6 December 2017. At the time, I was considering running for Deputy National Youth Organizer. And in fact, the last conversation I had with my dad was about me contesting to be a national executive of the NDC. And he encouraged me. To do it. A few days later, he left us. And so I'm not from a very political family. Okay. I'm probably the first politician
in your entire
active,
family.
Yes, outside the constituency.
Let's talk about the politics now.
Yes.
You have won voter region handsomely. You have won almost every region except Northeast, which you lost narrowly, Ashanti, which you lost, and Eastern region, which you lost. The NPP says they lost because their people didn't show up to vote. It was voter apathy. So it was not an NPP. Okay, it was not an NDC victory necessarily, but rather an NPP defeat based on apathy. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I think that if I have any advice to give my friends in the NPP, they need to get back to the drawing board and do some deep assessment of what happened, what caused their defeat, rather than being on the fence and still engaging in blame game and blaming apathy and all of that. Because the apathy did not only affect the NPP, it affected all of us. For example, in my constituency, in 2020, we had voter turnout of 70.7%. In 2024, we had a voter turnout of 67%. This is an NDC stronghold, a big drop. In Ketu South, we were targeting to get about 120,000 votes. At the end of the day, we got just about 78,000 votes and all that, even though that represents over 90%. It means that...
Is the MP people who didn't come out?
I know, but are you trying to tell me that those people in Ketu North, that huge number that did not come out to vote are all NPP members? No,
that's what the NPP say.
That's what the NPP say, but it can't be the case.
It is possible.
I think that we all had challenge with voter apathy, and both parties must investigate what happened. Why are people not willing to come out to vote? What caused the low voter turnout across the country? But I think that the NPP must accept that the election was a verdict on the performance of the Akufo-Addo government. And the verdict is that the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians are not impressed with the kind of governance that the NPP provided. The verdict is that the Ghanaian people wanted change. They wanted change in leadership. And that is why even constituencies that were regarded as traditionally NPP strongholds, some of them, we have snatched those states away from them. A lot of them. And so it is a verdict on their performance. The verdict is that President Mahama has been vindicated when he kept saying on the campaign platforms that it is about the economy. It is about the economy, because we went around campaigning. For many of the people that we met, communities that we visited, it is not about all the highfalutin grammar and so-called achievements that they kept parading. The people wanted improvement in their living conditions. People were complaining about the surge in food prices. People were complaining about the exchange rate, because I come from a border constituency, so we may not be using dollar, but the CFA franc. And my people were complaining about the fact that under the NDC, they were buying the CFA franc for 5 cedis, 50 pesos, but currently they do that at 28 Ghana cedis. And so it is basically about the economy and the fact that the people saw in the NPP government appointees and people who have become so arrogant that they simply did not care about the state of the economy. And is it when we meet our friends in the NPP and we interact with them, it appears to us as though they were living in a different country and they were not confronted with all the challenges that confront all of us as Ghanaians.
They were not living in reality.
No, they were not living in reality, because if you were living in reality, I'm not sure you will mount a campaign platform and tell the people that yes, the economy is not as we wish, or things are tough, but it was tougher under President Mahama. You are not living in the same country
but
with us.
They said too that it was an international crisis that has affected them, a global crisis that has affected them. They cannot be blamed. Maybe they are victims of the consequence of COVID-19 and Russia's invasion.
Sandra, they got away with that excuse in 2020 because Ghanaians had pity, let me put it that way, on them. They got away with that excuse in 2020, but not anymore, because you said you had built a resilient economy, and the resilience of an economy is tested in times of crisis. And so if your resilient economy that you kept touting fails to provide the basic needs and meet the basic needs and aspirations of the people, they will certainly vote you out.
Now they've been voted out bigly. You have come in. Is it not too big a challenge for you? Can your government really fix this? Your NDC, you believe you can fix this?
Sandra, I said on a sister station yesterday that the next 4 years will not be a walk in the park for us, the NDC government. But President Mahama is a fixer. I believe he can fix it.
Are you sure even for him? Because I was saying somewhere that
President Mahama can fix it.
Our bar is not just low. It's as if we've dug the ground and put the bar below it. And so we have to do a lot of digging to pull it out first of all. And I'm saying this in reference to the simple issue of the cost of goods and services. It is huge, the astronomical figures that we have seen in the cost of petrol, in the even common food items you buy in the supermarket. Are you sure you can reverse this?
We can, because Sandra, President Mahama is coming to the presidency again with experience as a vice president, experience as president, and experience as an opposition leader for 8 good years. Now, the benefits the benefits of this particular advantage of being in power, leaving and coming back is that for the last 8 years, I am very convinced that President Mahama may have reflected on even his own tenure as president when he took over from the late President Mills. Being outside, it gives you a better opportunity to look at the picture, identify where the loopholes are, and it is based on that experience that he made the promises that he made as contained in the Resetting Ghana manifesto. I believe President Mahama has the right mindset, has the right character, and has the integrity to lead the charge. And that is why I am appealing to everyone who will have the opportunity to work with him at all levels, that let the leader be the example and let us work for this country, because Ghanaians are expecting a lot from President Mahama and the NDC. I am confident that the NDC government will deliver. I am confident that issues with sports, issues with youth, issues with health, issues with infrastructure, all of those things will be fixed.
Personally, you as an incoming member of parliament, what is going to be your focus? 1, for your constituency, and 2, for the general parliament and the nation? What's your plan?
For my constituency, the main goal is to give them effective representation in parliament. And by representation, I mean it in 2 perspectives. The first is that you must be the one who can anchor their aspirations and their goals, whatever their needs are, lobby for developmental projects in the constituency. But again, representing them also means, and we have a very youthful population in the constituency. The last time I checked the data from the Ghana Statistical Service, we have about 78% of our population in Ketu North being youthful. And so what can we do? We must represent them. What can we do to support young people? I sold a manifesto to them. We call it Ajogbe. Maybe across the country, it is only in Ketu North that we designed a manifesto purposely for the constituency. We call it Ajogbe Manifesto.
What does Ajogbe mean?
Ajogbe is like the pledge.
Okay.
So our pledge to the people of Ketu North, President Mohammed's pledge, my pledge is to them. So we sold a manifesto that they bought into the vision and they supported, gave us 87% endorsement. It means that we must ensure that everything listed in that manifesto
will be delivered.
But at the national level, as a young person, I get lots of messages from young people across the country asking us to provide them with effective representation. I know that in Parliament, my focus will be on youth, my focus will be on sports, my focus will be on agriculture and general governance issues. But if you're asking for 3 key areas that I am very much interested in: youth, sports, and agriculture.
What's your professional background? As in, what did you study in school? I'm a journalist. What are you?
Economic policy analyst.
Oh, so you can work as finance minister?
No, but I'm not interested in working as finance minister.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
And I also have a background in security. But
so if you are put on the economy committee or finance committee of Parliament, you can deliver?
Well, I will submit my CV to the leadership of Parliament and discuss with the leadership where best I think that I can perform, I can give out my best. But being on finance committee, why not? I can deliver. And the good thing about me, let me say it and praise myself, is that I'm always ready to learn.
Okay.
And I'm happy that the NDC party has given us mentors to learn from and people who are willing to mentor the young MPs. In fact, even since Saturday, many of them have reached out. So you have the likes of Suhini, you have the likes of Honorable Agboja, you have the likes of Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa and all of that. All those people. You have the likes of Honorable Haruna Idrisu. All of them reaching out to guide you, so that when you get to the house, you are accustomed to the nuances of the house. So I'm very happy that we have a lot of mentors.
If President Mahama calls you tonight and says, I'm looking for a ministerial position deputy in the Volta region, I think you can make a good job, which one would you take? What would you say?
Sandra, I think that it's important to say this here, that President Mahama knows all of us, and he knows the human resource that he wants to work with. None of us should be engaged in trying to lobby or push him to make a decision. No, I will not lobby for any position. I will not. And I'm saying it on
But of course, if it's given to you, you accept.
I went to Ketu North and I lobbied them to vote for me as their member of Parliament. They've done that. I'm ready to serve them for the next 4 years. If at any point in time there is any other calling, whether from the party, from President Mahama or anybody else, why not? You give. If I think that I can deliver on whichever one they are giving me, I will. But like I said, we don't have to be engaged in this lobbying, trying to lobby President Mahama. The man has a clear vision for the good people of Ghana, and he knows the team to assemble to help him to deliver. And so we should not be engaged in trying to tie his arms around to make certain decisions and all of that.
Finally, you're young, you're coming to Parliament, you may be at the back. I don't know where they'll put you based on everything that's decided. You may be made a leader or maybe at the back, but would you be able to debate the other side?
Yes, why not? I will.
You're not going to be scared?
No. You see, the good thing about us and about the NDC is that when you look at even the very young MPs that we've produced in the past, in their first term, for some of them, we saw how they delivered. Look at the likes of Sam George. Look at the likes of Honorable Suhini, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa and co. Sosu, his first term in Parliament, historic. So many bills, private member bills and all of that. So for us, being a first timer is no limitation at all. You will certainly hear from me in Parliament and my contributions to the House.
Edem Agbana, should I start calling honorable now? I should wait till this.
I'm okay with Edem Agbana.
I have to call you honorable.
I'm okay with Edem Agbana.
Okay, incoming honorable Edem Agbana.
You can call me Comrade Edem Agbana.
No,
if you don't want to call me.
If I call you Comrade, I have to say Eyeza when you say Eyezu.
Oh, but what's wrong with you saying Eyezu?
You wait. We'll discuss it later. Thank you so much for
joining us. Thank you so much for having me.
As Edem Agbana, he has just been elected Member of Parliament for the Ketu North constituency in